What's that, baby?
Beast LVX says Michael's hair is divine and shines from the light within. I love it.
Oh,
You guys are so funny. Beast LVX, the hairdo of destiny. You guys are so good. My God.
yes, it is I, Michael Noland, Tribe Master of the Tribal Forum, presented to you by the hair of destiny, or the hairdo of destiny.
What's that, baby?
Or the
Beast
hair
LVX
don't
says
of
Michael's
destiny,
hair.
or something like that. Okay. Well, at least I know I'm live, folks. I'm sorry I'm so late getting up. But like I said in the comments, I'm in no hurry tonight, so you'll get the full show. We had some things happening in the background. We had to readjust and everything. So it kind of put everything off. I usually am going through like my intro, right at the last minute. And I have things not memorized because my intros never sound quite the same, but I've got the grouping of what I want to talk about. And I do have a basic idea of what I want to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about the Yardbirds. We're going to be talking about the Eagles. We're going to be talking about Fleetwood Mac and Deep Purple. Now, why would we be talking about those four bands? Okay. Well, all four of those bands are known, and there are other bands that I could have included in on this poll, and we may continue the poll. Okay. There are bands in rock and roll that are quite well known for having distinct eras within the history of the band. I'll give you the most perfect example is my latest poll dealing with Deep Purple. Their mythology is so powerful that fans and them identify themselves by marks. Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4, and so on, and so on. And they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends. So far with Deep Purple. So these polls only give you 4 parts to play with. A maximum of 4 choices. We used to be able to choose 5, and if they had a 5th one, one of you brought up a latter iteration of the band, Steve Morris era, and bringing up Don Airy. I would have probably put that incarnation just because I saw your comment. Okay, so that would have been something that we could have done. But the more famous marks for Deep Purple are Mark 1 through Mark 4. Okay, and so we'll be talking about that. Fleetwood Mac, we just discussed on a recent live stream that they're known to have at least 3 distinct versions of the band, and there have been other versions. But what have they done? At least the Peter Green era had its own sound, as did the Bob Welsh and Christine McVie era. And then when Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks joined up, that's usually contained or seen as the classic lineup. Just like with Deep Purple, Mark II is often seen as the definitive Deep Purple lineup. Then we get on to the Yardbirds and their eras. They've had like 18 members over the years. So you could probably make, many different eras. But with the Yardbirds, I think most rock fans identify the Yardbirds by 3 distinct eras, but I had 4 choices. And if you notice in my poll, I gave you that real thin sliver of time, months long, that both Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page were in the Yardbirds. One of you complained, yeah, that's the best lineup, but my favorite Yardbird songs are the Jimmy Page by himself era. And so, yeah, I can hear you. And so that's why we're doing this. What was the 4th? Oh, the Eagles, all right? Now the Eagles are basically have been split up with the original four members, and then the version that they brought Don Felder on with the original four members, and then the era where Joe Walsh and later Timothy B. Schmidt kind of joins. You know, Joe Walsh first, Randy Meisner still around, and then the Joe Walsh, Timothy B. Schmidt era is all involved in that. Now, there's another reason why I chose these four bands. See, there's a method to my madness, Margaret. Is that for the most part, okay, this isn't always true, but for the vast majority of, and their most well-known lineups and everything, all four bands are five-member bands, okay? So two of them have two guitar players, bass, drums, and a vocalist, and or several vocalists in the case of one of them, and two of the bands have one guitar player, bass, drums, and keyboards. And with the exception of Fleetwood Mac, let's see. Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles have several lead vocalists. And with the Yardbirds and Deep Purple, you have one vocalist at a time doing that. And Deep Purple, I was originally going to just do this on the Yardbirds. And Doc, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I updated my thumbnail to indicate the four bands we're going to be talking about. But I got started with this because of the Yardbirds. I've been listening to this album by them, and this is called Yardbirds, featuring performances by Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page. Okay? And this album, I've been listening to it a lot. This album was released, a compilation that was released in 1970 by the record company directly because of the success of Led Zeppelin, right? And they were continuing that myth. This album was in every freaking record store when I was 15 years old. And I didn't buy it. And then I didn't buy it. And then I didn't buy it. And then I didn't see it. Okay? And this was, I got this one from one of Patrick's auctions. And let's see. He set a minimum 50. By the way, Patrick, very clean pressing. I bought it months and months and months ago, but I hadn't got to it. And I've been listening to this week. Man, this is in brand new shape. And so we started the auction at $15. And believe it or not, there wasn't a lot of takers. I got it for $20. Okay? So I've been listening to this a lot. And I'll give you an example on this. The very first, my notes are all discombobulated and everything. The very first track on that, what was that? I had that down. Was that Train Kept Running? I think it was. Now, I had all of that information put down here. Given in the thing, there was... okay. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. Like I said, everything's discombobulated. Give me a moment. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. Because before we get into this main subject, I got but to share with you guys. Watch out, buddy. I'm coming for you. All right, so let me get on in here and see if I save this information as a screenshot. I know I must have. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, it's just not coming up. I think it's and the wording on these are so small to read, and there's really no liner notes on the inside of the album and everything. But I think it was Train Kept Rolling, was it? No, that's the last cut. Anyway, was it Drinking Muddy Water? Maybe that was
goodness.
it. And that's based on not a Muddy Water song, but another blues great. Yeah, baby.
We got another super thing.
Oh, wow. And by the way, whoever gave us our latest one, We also got one from Gear Jam.
Yes.
And Gear Jam, I misidentified a ton of you on my last stream. I've apologized for that, along with a couple of apologies, and pinned it to my latest video, so you can go and see it there. But I was identifying Oberheim as Gear Jam, and Oberheim is Brandon 1351. Gear Jam is Irgesplitten Loudenboomer, and of course Beast LVX is Deuce's Wild. I got all mixed up, sorry for that. And he gave us, he swung the Deuce Hammer. Did he say anything on that, Gear Jam, baby?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to go back there
Yeah.
right now. Oh, there we go.
It may have
okay.
just been a Deuce Hammer.
Gear Jam, Deuce Hammer time, he says.
Thank you, buddy.
Amen. Thank
I appreciate
you, Gear
it.
Jam.
I appreciate it so
you
much.
You guys rock.
And then who just gave us a new one, baby?
Well, now Beast LVX.
Deuce.
Another hard rocker. He gave us $5.
Thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate
thank you
it,
so
Deuce.
much, Beast. You're
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Oh, you guys are great. So what I was talking about when I was going through, did you have something else to say,
Yeah,
baby?
I wanted to read Beast.
Oh, God,
comment.
yeah, thank you.
Okay. He
Half
says,
mouth will travel, you know me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beast LVX says, when it comes to the Yardbirds, I got to go with the Page era lineup. The Little Games album, for example, foreshadowed what greatness was to come.
Yeah, yeah. You
Oh,
see
you
him,
know it, Beast LVX.
right, during that sliver of time. You know, and you guys know the story. I've talked about it a million times. Once Beck was gone, I think, Jimmy saw the writing on the wall. He still saw the viability of the name. Have you ever noticed, if you watch an old, remember when the old sitcoms would come out, and this is like from 65 through probably 73-ish, they'd have episodes that all of a sudden I Dream of Jeannie is playing drums with Boyce and Hart, or Bewitched, all of a sudden has a fictional band, or if, not so much with this episode, but like Gilligan's Island, they'd have a rock band visited the island, right? Now the sound for that one doesn't quite match up with some of the things I was thinking. Boyce and Hart were writing stuff for other bands, had hits for the Monkees. They had a couple of hits of their own. And you know what? The more I heard that, and as I've been listening to this album, boy, isn't that a freaking great album cover? I love this album cover. So 60s. 1970, it was still the 60s. I have often said that what we call the 60s, that most people think, yeah, back in the 60s, beads and love and men with long hair. I never could understand why those men grew their hair long. But that was the 60s. That started, you could argue, as early as 66. Musically, it started in 65. But that so-called hippie explosion, 67 to 72, maybe even 73. In the early 70s, we still had commune houses on the street we lived on, right? There was still nudist beach on the Russian River that we'd go out and tee-hee over and stuff like that. Very 60s vibe, right on through, getting into the mid 70s, and then by the time 74 through 78 came, you got a lot of Boston, you got a lot of Journey, you got a lot of not them, but you know what I'm talking about. Boston, Journey, Kansas, Styx, those kind. That was like a ribbon in the 70s with enough of the tie to the 60s. It fit in real well. And then we got punk. Then we got people saying Led Zeppelin was sounding old-fashioned. And then we got new wave. And then we got MTV, and everybody had their hair pumped up. Flock of Seagulls had more hair than face. And so, and that's when things changed, although that was a good mix-up, some of it. And we got an extension of time, and of course, just as that's petering out, in came grunge, And a lot of you have been saying the problem with grunge is all the songs sound, yeah, they're gonna kill the rooster, which is about a guy soaked in sweat, in army green in Vietnam, and his nickname is the Rooster, and he's paranoid and everything. There was a lot of that, no doubt, but a lot like Black Sabbath, a decade before that, or decade and a half, 2 decades before that, were writing lyrics that many thought were Debbie Downer lyrics, right? So that's how all of this kind of wound up being. And I did want to make the connection here that a lot of these sitcoms and the bubblegum sounds from those bands came from the freaking Yardbirds. I've said it before, they're not the prototype to classic rock.
Oh my goodness.
They are the first true classic rock band, beating the Beatles by a couple of years.
Mr. Michael Boswell just came in with a super thanks, and he just came into the
I
stream.
see that. Yeah, he swung the deuce hammer.
Michael, thank you. Thank you so much.
Recording industry died today. R.I.P.
I know.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Did you, babe?
No, I didn't.
Recording industry.
But I believe if Michael says it, I believe it.
Well, I'm just curious as to what he's saying about that. Look for more comments from him to explain that.
Okay, we'll do.
You know what? Michael, I can make a tie-in on that. Now we get down to some nasty business, baby. Michael says the recording industry died today. You know what? I saw a stream today where that pretty much says it all, Michael. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. As many of you know, there's been this, I didn't start this, by the way. Make it perfectly clear. A video was put out by another channel. Now, I'm not going to mention that other channel's name that officially put out this video because, he says, because Cox versus Sony was overturned, SCOTUS. Okay, you're going to have to give me more on that. I'm aware of several court cases and legislation pieces. I'm not recognizing Cox versus Sony. But so give us some more, Michael, and thank you for yet another $2 super thanks. I appreciate it. Now, I was watching this stream, and I want to get back to this whole feud thing happening. So this other channel used a portion of my video talking about high ticket prices concerning Paul. I'm not going to re-explain that. I have an entire video that re-explains that, and the only addendum to that explanation is if you think, because one of these guys said that, and besides, these third-party sites aren't even guaranteed to get these tickets to charge that much. You want to freaking bet they have bots? They have robots, son. Okay, that'll do this. In recent years, more complex methods have been deployed to obtain ticket for resale on the secondary market and tertiary market, similar to the technology used to snap up rare shoes and sneakers. Go figure. Automated bot attacks have become a common way to acquire a large number of tickets only to resell them for higher profits. Now, in that one, I also explained that in turn, and it's been proven many times, do your research, that in turn rises tickets on Ticketmaster. And by the way, I'll remind you, not $22,000, but $5,000 tickets for Paul McCartney were sold on Ticketmaster, and $8,000 tickets were sold to see Bruce Springsteen on Ticketmaster after third-party robots got those tickets. And here's why I'm saying they're not even guaranteed. You say they're not guaranteed to get those tickets? They got so many robots plus scalpers getting in the lines that are involved in still line purchases and everything. They're guaranteed to get a big part of that. And even if they don't get their 22 freaking grand, buddy, okay, They will increase prices on Ticketmaster. It bites us all in the ass. Now, at the end of my video, I said, now I've had my say. If you're willing to drop this, I'll call a truce on you. And the individual, that channel has not made anything that attacks me since then. However, the person that was on as his cohort hasn't been silenced. He was on Rachel's Ghost yesterday, right? And, you know, Rachel, you know, she sees a pile of shit and she just can't help herself. She's got to put her hands into it and make a mud pie and wonder why it stinks so bad. That's Rachel. And so she, first of all, opened up this discussion by addressing Joe Mayo. Joe Mayo and I had a minor little bump. It did not affect us at all. He gave me a great explanation of his original video that I reacted. I pinned his explanation on that video with an apology from me for perhaps misreading him and going there. But I still stand that, you know, every channel has their own way to generate the funds it takes to operate their channel. So, but Joe and I have been fine. And she goes, you know, Rachel, you know, she always does that freaking voice. Joe, I'm hearing there's like World War IX or whatever the fuck she was saying. And he's going, no, that's not true. Yeah, baby.
Michael Boswell and 45 RPM say the Supreme Court ruled in Cox Communications versus Sony Music Entertainment that internet service providers are not liable for copyright infringement music download by their users.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Thank you, Michael, 45 RPM.
Thank you. Right. And you guys know I cover the, 10 deadly sins of rock and roll. I named it, but I don't remember what it was, but that was the original one. And I've been preaching that we need legislation for a long time, haven't I, Michael? And I'm not one for passing laws indiscriminately, or we need to make a law to protect the flat-footed earthworm or whatever. All right, I think we get bogged down in laws, and then special interest groups manipulate those laws and clog up the system, and pretty soon the major law, the sub-laws were based on, doesn't even make sense anymore. And it's not servicing the majority of the people who live here. So I'm not good on that, but this is one thing that's gotten out of hand. There is no doubt about it. Now, here's another thing. Copyright infringement. So anyway, I was going to say, Rachel was over there starting, and Joe goes, no, it's not me. It's, and I will name this guy, Beatly Tone. Okay? And Beatly Tone once again reiterated that the only thing I got right was by calling him a prick. I'm glad you admit it. Being in denial is not a good thing, Tony. Okay, I'm glad you admit that. And it shows how wise I am. Called you on it. And then he goes on to say that Michael Noland doesn't even know what he's fucking talking about. Now, that video is going to top out at 6,000 videos. And it's a response video. Hundreds and hundreds of thumbs up, and also people, leaving comments. I've gotten less than 10 negative comments on it, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you that agree with me and that I make sense. So Beatly Tone isn't just aiming at me, he's aiming at you guys. And I know Beatly Tone and I share a certain amount of viewers. And it's sad that it's gone this way. But, Tony, you started this. Look, you and your cohort, you got on the screen, You responded to my video that you guys were using. You didn't ask me if that would be okay, if I'd be comfortable with that. You shut me down, you make your comments, and, it must be nice to have. How's that remote working right now? Can you shut me down, Tony? No?
Yeah,
Can't do it?
Royce in the house. He says, Michael, that's Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Royce.
she's treated Royce like shit, too. And once again, damn it, I wish I could say so. Well, there is a lot of good things I can say about Rachel. She's talented. I kind of dug her when I first met her.
Aw.
I like, she's got a lot of shit in her head. I always got a lot of shit in my head. I kind of saw her as kind of the same type of thinker and everything. She's got way more knowledge in certain aspects of education and stuff than I do, and I have way more knowledge than she does in other aspects of, the working a job and education and everything. And I always thought we'd be a good mix, but it's not happening. Yeah, baby.
Beast LVX says, Michael, you and Common Sense are great buddies.
Thank you.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice, Beast.
Yeah. But here's the deal, and the reason I'm even bringing it up, okay? I thought of not even bringing this up. I don't like to give people, light on the channel that's only going to be benefiting from an ongoing feud. And this will be the last time I'm going to bring you up, buddy. All right? Feel free to apologize anytime, okay? The channel that you showed up on featuring my video hasn't made anything that I'm aware of. So as far as I'm concerned, we're good. Joe Mayo and I have been good for a while, I think, right, Joe, if you're watching this later? As a matter of fact, Larry Graves and I don't agree on a lot of things. And I saw a comment from him that said, we don't agree, but I watch his stuff, okay? So Larry Graves and I think, are good. You'd have to let me know, Larry. But I comment, I'm still subscribed to Joe. I'm still subscribed to Larry. And if this truce is done, I'll go back and I'll subscribe to the channel that I unsubscribed to. Not you, Tony. Kind of lost my business, buddy. And I was a subscriber to your channel before all this nonsense. I watched your videos, okay? But for whatever reason, you saw fit to join in on the 2-to-1 fight against me, and you both, according to my viewers, lost the fight. And so anyway, just to give you an idea, now Michael's talking about legislation. I am keeping an eye on what's going on out there, right? And I was mentioned twice on Rachel's show, so I went over to Beatly Tones because he was streaming today, and I didn't watch it that close. I just watched about 5 minutes of it to see if, I was the subject for discussion, and I didn't see that I was, but you guys could tell me better. But he was talking about, one of his viewers got up and said that, they'd like AI to take a look at imitating a younger Paul's voice and have that sing on his new album. And he goes, I don't know how close I would go to that, but he says, and then he's talking about negative at one point. You'd have to watch it. I've got it saved as a clip where he's talking about auto-tune. And then he goes on, but then he's not happy about auto-tune. But then he makes a comment like it's almost like he's ready to say maybe something to soften his voice for the more ballady songs. He says on his rockers, he's still sounding good, which I've said many times on the history of this channel. You would have known that, Beatly Tone, if you had actually seen my channel, right? For any amount of time. I've said he needs to adjust his set list. And so he goes on, and he says, but I want that album because Paul McCartney has a new album. Joe Mayo hates this title. I love it. Boys of Dungeon Lane? And McCartney has said that he's got he's written and recorded over 20. What did I hear? 25. I know it was over 20 songs. There's indications or thinking that this could be a double album. My God, this late in his career and everything, I say go for it. I love the title, Joe. I do. That's a perfect rock and roll. Boys of Dungeon Lane. I love it. It's dangerous even sounding. But we'll see where he's going with that. But he says, I want that album to sound as good as it is, and he winds up on the side of auto-tune, which, by the way, I've mentioned before. He's using that live right now, Beatly Tone. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because many of my viewers have told me, out of the blue, I'm hearing auto-tune at Ball's concerts, and I've heard a couple of clips that sounds like that's damn well possible. So he said, I want that. So in the end, he's all for auto-tune. Okay, so, and then he makes the mistake, Beatly Tone, of comparing that. That's just like any overdubbing. Now, I'll give you an idea. Now, if you're not familiar with the term overdubbing, it's when you drop a new happening on a recording on a different track. Say you got the drums recorded on track one, bass here, the guitarist comes in and he wants to lay it down, he'll overdub it. And guess what? The guitarist may have special effects boxes, special amps to artificially make that tinky-tinky-tink guitar without an amp sound like you know what I'm saying? So that's overdubbing. But guess what it is? Always. It's a performance. Or at least traditionally it always has been. When you have auto-tuning on a performance, you're changing the performance. It's just like if you use auto-tuning on a guitar solo, because they're doing that too these days. All right? That's no longer a performance. That's no longer a simple overdub, brother. All right? And I'd be dead set against it. If I hear there's auto-tuning on this album, I'm not interested in it, no matter how good it is. But he wants it, no matter what, he wants it to sound good. And I think a lot of people are giving in to that in the search of perfection. And if there's one thing I didn't like about that made bands like Def Leppard, not so much, sometimes though, they managed to get Alex Van Halen up in the mix for his solos, but often his other guitar work was hidden in there, and they put a pad on it, and then, kind of padded into the band's mix more instead of it being prominent, and then they take that, and then this is what happened with the Loudness Wars, they start increasing the DVDs, and you get this massive sound, but what song was it it was a Led Zeppelin. I went to pick up Kimberly some meds yesterday, and they were playing Led Zeppelin, and I couldn't believe the dynamics I was hearing because they had just played a Def Leppard song, and I was grooving to it. I like Def Leppard. All right, but if there is a criticism I have, it's because of that, and we're way too tempted to let Daddy Robot and Mama AI entertain us like the children that some of us, Beatly Tone, so you're not just a prick, all right, are just childishly infatuated. All right? Everything has a shelf life. If Paul can't sing, or it's going to be in disrepair, I want the honest effect. I'd buy that album. Whether I like it or not, I collect Paul McCartney, and I'd buy that album. Another thing, I know a lot of you guys are going through some hard times, and then we'll get into the main thing here. Right now, and I know Timothy Henry going through times, going through chemo. Dr. Rick has, high blood pressure and another thing. Rockin' Robin, who, by the way, is one of those that goes over to Beatly Tones. I saw her over there. More power to you. If you guys are over at Beatly Tones, you come over here and you just don't want to get into the fight, you're welcomed over here, every single one of you. You don't have to agree with me. You can agree with him and argue with me here. but you do so in a respectful way. I'll ask that. But I did want to make a special mention. I've known this for a couple of days now. Sir James, Caitlin's wonderful co-host on Caitlin's Magical Corner and his own show. His mother passed away a couple of days ago, and he's going through a really
That's
hard
tough.
time.
It's really tough.
Right. So
prayers go out to
not only
James.
prayers and thoughts, but
Yeah.
as you guys connect with James and everything, you know, cheer the man up. He's going through a really hard time.
That is tough.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And then I always do this, and this will take but a tick and a half here, not very long at all. I always shout out those who gave us super thanks on our last stream. And last stream on Sunday, Royce came in. It says the Four Horsemen, Royce in the house, came in with a $10 super thanks. Royce streams right after I do on Sundays. I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays at 5 p.m. And then he streams on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. And that's PST, by the way. Adjust your times accordingly. He sent in a $10 super thanks. Deuces Wild's already been in. He sent in a $20 super thanks. And Michael Boswell sent in a $10 super thanks. And then on one of my videos, I always try to get these added too, because these don't come, you know, you go to a certain place in YouTube Studio, they'll show you your super thanks, but only for the live, it's hard to keep track of it. But Kelly Heath gave me a $2 super thanks. Wonderful. I pinned it right up there. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it. By the way, folks, we are at last count 12 away from hitting 47,500 subscribers. We're 47.4 now. And right now, we're just, you know, that's it. 12 more of you, man. If you haven't subscribed to this thing we call the tribe, you're really missing out. I can tell you right now, if you're watching me right now, I've got regular videos I put out, right? I put out shorts. I do polls. We're going to be discussing one of them. And I do 1 to 3 regular videos a week, and I stream twice a week. And the only way to really get a grip on there and get on over here and get the swing, these people you see in the comments, these are some of the best people I've ever known in my life. Just take a look at them, all right? I love these people. They keep this channel going. I'm not talking about the super thanks. I'm talking about the people who are commenting right now. A lot of you, be on the lookout for some newer names. John was one. Let me finish my thought process here, and then I want you to call out people who have been showing up in the last month, you know, new to the show, but you know, we're starting to notice you. You know, you're not going anywhere. You're engaging into the comments, and I encourage all the old timers to embrace them. But anyway, as a matter of fact, let's just do that right now. Brian Hallweld was one I've noticed coming in quite a bit, baby.
Who? Oh, Howard.
Brian Howard. I see HOWALD.
Howard. Right? Oh, maybe it's Howald.
Oh, it's good to see Al Val. I hadn't seen him in a while. Al Val's in.
Nick just came in too.
Hey, Novus, how you doing? He just says hello.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you missed all the shit disturbing before, Nick. You'll have to catch that on the replay. But it's always good. Nick is one of the rotating horsemen over at the Four Horsemen. We get him up on panels sometimes. We got Joseph Blue, who's out there on Royce's last show because Dan couldn't make it. And he was ready to go while we were ready to go. And he did wonderful. I have 2 members-only videos. I have the original, and then I temporarily released an extended version to the public. As soon as they hit 150 views, I snapped it back to the members-only video. And you were great on that, Joseph. Sarkon the Wolf's back. I hadn't seen him in a while, or has he been? And I just haven't noticed.
He just got in a little bit ago.
Awesome.
I know.
Awesome. Good to see you,
Brian
Sarkon.
Howald is in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, because I didn't see. He must have just come in.
Oh no, he was in earlier. I
He
saw
said,
him in
"Thank
earlier.
you for the acknowledgement, Michael."
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but there was
that's nice,
there was
Brian.
another couple that I thought I saw. Guy 1900 is one.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah,
in too.
yeah. These are people that have been like now they may have been watching me a lot longer, but they've just recently started engaging in the last month, maybe 6 weeks. And I want to tell you, the show is good when we see new blood. I love this. Who else was it?
So,
John. I'm trying to remember John's last name. He was going. It's good
oh,
to see Caitlin in.
Dan just got in.
Hey,
Just the
Dan.
facts, man. Dan.
Yeah.
Hi, Dan.
Dan was over at Caitlin's show, and we were talking about a ton of things. And Dan had some things to say about AI. He's more of a fan of it than I am. But even he says rules need to be passed. That's what we were talking about just before you got up here, Dan. Rules need to be passed. We got to be real careful with it. I'm glad to hear Dan say that. We were also talking about
Dan is
shenanigans
a
in the
bit.
music industry before you got here, Dan,
Dan
too.
says he's a bit under the weather still.
I'm sorry to hear
Oh,
that, brother.
Dan, prayers for
Yeah.
you for speedy healing.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely.
But who else did I see in here?
Angela's in.
Angela's good to see.
Dr. Rick just came in.
Hey, Doc, we were talking about you earlier, too, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Were your ears burning? Am Soto.
Yeah,
All right.
that, yeah.
I love that. Am Soto? Am Soto?
Am Soto.
Okay,
Yeah.
these are all new people, and I love it. If you've been watching me for a while, you go, well, I'm not part of that clique. There's no clique here. Everybody knows they're on their best behavior. Our attempt here is to be positive, right? If I occasionally have to play bouncer, I play bouncer. But other than that, you see all these badges, the blue badge that's now there. Those are all tribal marshals. They know what to look for. So if someone wants to cause trouble, we get rid of them. Oh, by the way, another viewer of Beatley Tones, was it Beatle Eddie? I asked to have him taken out, and one of you did, and he wrote me back. And so I apologized. He said, I was actually agreeing with you, right? And so I apologized to him, and I pinned his comment, all right? And he is one of Beatley Tone's viewers. And I knew that, and I thought the way he was doing it. He asked the question, what are the prices? I thought he was instigating me to get up there and go the way that they said I was going, and they totally misread me. All right? So, yeah, we learned together. Nobody's not, incapable of making mistakes. I'm a real person. I'm a real boy, Mama. I haven't been programmed yet. Oh, that was a glitch in the Matrix, folks.
Was that?
Yeah, that's all it was. But anyway. All right, so, the channel has officially reached 13.5 million views. And we've done that in, let's see, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So, God, less than 4.5 years. 4 years and 5 months. 13.5 million. I just announced getting to 13 million. I want to thank all of you for hyping my videos, by the way. You really have helped, especially recently. You can hype up to 3 videos a week, and for those of you who save those hypes for this channel, or even a portion of them, we are so grateful, because that's the way the YouTube algorithm is going. I just saw a couple of things. This Joseph mentioned he talks to Genesis on Google. Well, Genesis is what runs the new YouTube algorithm. And so there are changes coming along. And people, they are looking, they don't even want to promote channels that, like say Bob makes a video on, I don't know, I'll just make up a band, the Shamagans, right? and it goes great guns. And then a bunch of people start, man, the Schmager, ooh, that was a good idea, George, which I never do. I got all kinds of things I want to talk about. I don't have to copy what other people do. If my video is the same as what somebody else has done, I guarantee you that's just luck of the draw, right? I've got 15 ideas right now, in the back of my head, and the only thing that gets in the way of those is news stories, which I do cover here. Another reason to join the channel, right? So for those of you who have been hyping that has been a major save, because we're going to need more and more of that, and both Kimberly and I appreciate it. We really do. Okay, so let's see. Give a rundown. Okay, give a history of the band. Note the strength of each era. Okay, that's from last one. All right, so now, at this point, the best way to go about this is to turn our attention to the polls. There's only 4, and out of the 4 polls, I got to tell you, right now, let's just see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's 20 away. And I'm on an old screen. It may have already hit 1,000. I'm going to say that the 980 has hit 1,000. So we've got 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.7, 4,700 votes. And this has all been in the last 2 days. 4 parts, okay? I didn't even name them for part 1, part 2, part 3. Just 4 separate polls on 4 separate bands. And the question, I'll just read each one, all right? As we go through, let me make sure. All right, so what would have been part 1? The first one is, which era of Fleetwood Mac was your favorite Fleetwood Mac era? I'm not asking you for a scientific breakdown, which band was better scientifically, which band had the greatest singing. No, just your favorite. That's all, Just go with the flow. This is a feeling kind of poll, right? And the choices were the Peter Green, Jeremy Spencer era, all right? An example of one of the songs at that time was Black Magic Woman. The Christine McVie, Bob Welch era, even though McVie would go on to be in a latter era, but it had its own sound. It was a choice, and an example of a song was Hypnotized. And then the Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks era, and of course I chose The Chain. You could choose one of about 15 top 10 hits. They've got to at least have that many. And then a fourth choice was I Can't Choose. I love every single era of Fleetwood Mac. All right, so now when I look at this, 9% of you chose the Christine McVie, Bob Welch era. That would have been my second favorite era, because I'm a singer-songwriter and I love Peter Green, but I would have chose that, all right? And then in second to last place, I Can't Choose. I love every single era. So only 11% of you voted that, I take it as the whole band. And you know what? If I was to vote, that would have been the vote I would have cast right there. I love Fleetwood Mac, the whole incarnation, up to the leaving of Lindsey Buckingham. Anything after that, I don't care about. All right? When he returns, all of a sudden I'm interested again. Right? I was even interested in Say You Will, just like I was interested in the Buckingham McVie album, of which I think both of those damn albums should be officially canonized as Fleetwood Mac albums. On the Say You Will, you've got Stevie Nicks and the rest of the band. On the Buckingham McVie album, you got McVie and the rest of the band. The only ones missing on those albums is on Say You Will, there's no Christine McVie, and on Buckingham McVie, there's no Stevie Nicks. Why is Say You Will considered canon and Buckingham McVie? Well, did that come out after there was Trouble in Paradise? Whatever. But then in second place is the Peter Green era. I was really surprised about that. The Peter Green, Jeremy Spencer, slide guitarist extraordinaire, and I can't argue with it. Like I said, I love all 3 eras that we're talking about here. And they got 23%, but Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks era got 52%. 48%, well above anybody else. Next band up is which era of the Eagles was your favorite Eagles era? All right, so this one goes a little bit like the last one. The first one is the Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Meisner era. And then you have the Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Ledden, Randy Meisner, and Don Felder era. And then I just skipped to the end because there was a tiny part, wasn't there, with Randy Meisner and Joe Walsh joining, but I just skipped to the Don Henley, sorry about that, folks, Don Felder, Joe Walsh, and Timothy B. Schmidt era. And then I like all of these eras of the Eagles was a possibility. The one that lost the most, and if I got to be honest, this is my favorite era of the Eagles. Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Ledden, and Randy Meisner. It's got my favorite album by the Eagles on it. How could I not have wanted to vote for that? But I didn't get a vote, so it lost out. It lost out. In third place, let me make sure I got this right, yeah, is the Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Ledden, Randy Meisner, Don Felder era, with second place winding up with I Like All the Eras, right? And then, of course, what many people would consider their classic lineup, I don't know why, but Glenn Frey, again, John Henley, it's the same thing, Don Felder and Joe Walsh with Timothy B. Schmidt with 42% of the vote, but two of these got over 23%, 23 on one, 25 on the other. So it wasn't a runaway train for Joe Walsh and Timothy B. Schmidt era. Okay, so the next one goes, which era of the Yardbirds was your favorite era? And this is where I kind of got clever, because I had four choices, and instead of saying, I love all the eras, matter of fact, I got kind of clever on the next two polls, because you have four distinct choices here. You know, no cop-out statement on this one. And so the Eric Clapton era from 1963 to 1965, the Jeff Beck era, 1965 to 1966, the Jimmy Page era from 1966 to 1967. Oh, wait a minute, 66 was chosen twice there for Jeff Beck and Jimmy. That's why in part 4, 1966, when Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page were both in at the same time. Do you know that's the number one poll winner? 1966 is the gold spot. Most people say, well, if you can't have Eric Clapton, you might as well have Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page aboard. That's 2 out of 3. You know, if I'd had a fifth choice and say, and if you could have all 3 guitarists, would you, and all the other classic lineup members, I'm sure everybody would have voted for that, or a significant enough of you. Now, the rest of them was the Jimmy Page era by itself was the least voted for. I'm amazed by that. Then beating him was Eric Clapton at 18%. And then beating Eric Clapton was Jeff Beck at 27%. So their own distinct eras, out of those 3 choices, Jeff Beck creamed Eric Clapton, who creamed Jimmy Page. You guys really surprised me. And yet when you have, but I think a lot of that Jimmy Page votes may have gone to the fourth, because 43% of you said you like the era, that sliver of time, what was it, weeks or months? There's only 2 or 3 recordings with the two of them, you know, during that era. But yeah, what a lineup. 2 of the greatest guitarists to ever walk the planet. And then part 4, which I put up 18 hours ago. This is the newest one, already with 1.2 thousand votes. Every one of these have 1,000 votes, except for one saying 980, but I'm sure it's at 1,000 plus now. And like I said, over 4,500 votes. And this question was, which era of Deep Purple was your favorite Deep Purple era? Mark 1, 68 through 69, Evans, Blackmore, Semper, Lord, Pace. Mark 2, 69 to 73, and back in the 80s and back in the 90s. Coverdale, 80s and 90s, that was Gillen, Blackmore, Glover, Lord, and Pace. Mark 3, which was 73 to 75, Coverdale, Hughes, Blackmore, Lord, and Pace. And then Mark 4, 75 to 76, was Coverdale, Hughes, Boland, Tommy Boland, Lord, and Pace. Notice something here. Out of these, only Lord and Pace is in every single one of them. And these days, due to the sad passing of John Lord, Ian Pace is the only member that's been in every freaking configuration of Deep Purple, right? So that's where we are on that. Then I also wanted to have some fun with this, okay? I want to hear from you guys. Here, we're going to let you guys kind of go to town, do some thinking on this. Take a look at these 4 bands. All of them have 5 members, right? Okay, for the most part. Okay, vast majority of the career, they had five members. You've got 2 of them that have independent lead singers, you know, like the Yardbirds and what was it? Yeah, I went down too far, didn't I? Yeah. The Yardbirds and Deep Purple, okay? Rolf and, well, several singers for Deep Purple. And so, and then you have 2 bands that have multiple singers, right? And you've got a couple of these bands have 2 guitar players, and a couple of these bands have a guitar player and a keyboard player. So what I want to do is you can make up a band with 5 members out of these band members, whether they're dead or not. All right? This is going to be our little mind experiment today. Okay, if you could take, and you've got to take 1 member from every band. That's rule number 1. All right? So 5 members for each band, okay? And any 5 members, it doesn't matter what era, okay? And you can now add them. You can take a guitarist from the Yardbirds, or you can take a lead singer, all right, from a band that isn't the lead singer, but you like the way that, like say you like Lindsey Buckingham, just that much, and you want him to be the lead singer in your band, you know, go ahead and bring him over, okay? But if you're going to bring a guitarist over like that, that doesn't count. He'd just be coming over for his vocals. Because your other assignment is to choose either 2 guitarists or a guitarist and a keyboard player. We have 2 keyboard players on this list, Christine McVie and John Lord. Okay, depending on what kind of band.
Christine, yeah.
You know, depending on what kind of band you're going to put together here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your choice of drummers will have a lot to do with how you stack up. And then what do you do with your bass player? Which bass player? And everything. So I want you guys to do it. Now, why am I doing this? I'm going to give you an example. Here's what I would do with this list. Okay? Let me find my damned... I swear to God, my notes have been all over the place today, baby.
Oh, dear.
No, this has been... It's not been a good day.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. I know I put this together. All right, here it is. Found it. Jeez Louise. Okay, so my band would be, out of this group, I'd want the playability and and what he'd bring in, and you'll see by who else I choose. Out of the keyboards, I would choose, I'm going to choose a keyboard guitarist lineup here and lead vocalist, okay? All right? So no 2 guitarists on my choice. So John Lord on keyboards, Jimmy freaking Page on guitar, because he can do it all. No matter what kind of band I'm going to play, he can play acoustic, he can play electric, right? And he can do supersonic feats on both. So I'm good there. And a lot of what Jimmy does goes, I think, goes very well with what John Lord traditionally plays with keyboards with Deep Purple. Richie Blackmore is like my fourth favorite guitarist of all time. What he does with Richie Blackmore, I think he could marry up good with Jimmy Page. All right. And then for my drummer, Mick Fleetwood. And you're going, but Ian Pace, yeah, Ian Pace is technically a better drummer, I think, and a more intricate drummer and can do things maybe, I don't know. They're both fantastic drummers. But what I'm doing and what I'm listening to is I'm looking for that jungle beat that they could get on, and early Mick Fleetwood drum beats with the Mick Green era. Like I said, I thought I almost heard some Santana on some of those tracks, right? And when Fleetwood Mac, like when they do Tusk, Mick has to be on the drums. They always have a sideman playing congos, percussion for that, to get that sound. And yet on the original recording, it's primarily Mick Fleetwood. So I'm good with Mick Fleetwood there. Now, I'm going to choose Ian Gillan because of John Lord, Jimmy Page. Mick Fleetwood can keep up with that drive, even add an interdimensionality to it. And Ian Gillan, I'm going to do it mainly because I have to choose a bass player, and I haven't chosen anybody from the Eagles, so I would choose Randy Meisner over Timothy B. Schmidt, mainly because of his songwriting ability, too. He could bring in some of that. I like Meisner just a bit more. His style and everything. I love him. And his personality would fit in well with this band. You're going to have people who are less ego-driven because you got Jimmy Page and Ian Gillan in the band. Okay? The rest of them are pretty good team players. And Jimmy Page also has the ability to back off. So I think he would be able to keep Ian Gillan in check and then be able to push his real desires and expect Ian Gillan to back up and probably even remind him, look, I backed you up on that last decision. I kind of need you to go my way on this. I think it would work out. But see, that's what I want you guys to do. So look for, when you give your thoughts, put out the band's name. No, just put out the musicians. We know what bands they are. Just put out 5 musicians from these 4 bands, all right, that at any era. So you've got tons of people you can put on here, all right? You want Rod Evans to sing, lead? Go grab him from Mark 1, right? Now, I'll tell you, I hated having to choose. The Eagles was the one band, and I love the Eagles. But compared to these other bands, the Eagles historically were less, a lot of their time period was less schooled, basic, 3-chord, maybe a fourth and a third chord for the bridge, and a second chord on the chorus to mix it up. They had a basic songwriter's mentality. They were very country at the beginning. They got real ass kicking there at the end.
Hun,
yeah.
Royce in the house, also known as the Four Horsemen,
AKA
just came in with a $10 super thing.
Thank you, brother.
I
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Royce.
I appreciate
That's
all
so
of your
nice.
support behind the scenes, Royce.
Royce says,
this week.
I wanted to say this earlier. It would have been more on topic. The latest nonsense is about jealousy with some drama thrown in. He wanted to say, I think he was talking about Rachel.
Yeah. No. We can go back to that thought, right? I'm capable of, going back to chapter 2 and remembering I'm in chapter 4. Royce, I don't know. I don't want to say that because I never think of myself as anything big. And Royce, you know this. We've had telephone conversations where I go, I'm not some guy with a big channel. I'm just freaking Michael. I don't like Mike, but Michael. I'm Michael. Mige, if you really want to shorten it. My stepson Nicholas nicknamed me Magical, and
Yeah.
then shortened that to Maj, Maij. I answered to Michael or Maj. Okay, some of my family members call me Maj, and yeah. So I don't think of myself along those lines. I don't think of myself as somebody who would be jealous of me. Trust me. If you knew me more, you certainly wouldn't be. You know, I'm just a guy. I'm a rock fan. I'm a musician. I have some history in there. I thought, yeah, with my knowledge of that, I'd like to start a YouTube channel. And so I didn't do a rock channel. I had to be browbeat into that until I finally go, well, the one thing you do kind of know anything about is rock and roll, Michael.
John Hardy says,
Hi, John.
Michael.
He was the one I was trying to remember the last name. Hi, John. It's good to see you.
John Hardy, yeah. He says, Michael, I'm an original classic lineup rock band kind of guy. Not interested in replacement musicians.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That is cool.
Especially after the classic lineup is gone, done, and the hits have been made.
Yeah.
And then you field a tribute band. It's so simple. Just because they have a legal attachment to that name, with that exception, the legal attachment, all right, it's a letter. It's a lawyer gobbledygook piece of paper, okay? It really gets down to it. If we were living in post-apocalyptic times, we could set that puppy on fire, and then we'd really know what the truth was all about. And yet they get to be called, foreigner. But really great foreigner tribute bands have to rely on, gimmicky names and everything. And to tell you the truth, I've seen 4 or 5 foreigner tribute bands that are better than the foreigner that's out there today, as far as I'm concerned. What band was it that you guys sent me? One of you sent me to go take a look at. Which band was that? Was that one of these latest bands? Not the Yardbirds, not the Eagles. Oh, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah. One of them were called Rumors. You gave me that suggestion. Went over and saw that. And the other one, or Rumors of Fleetwood Mac, I think is what it was called. And what was the other name? But it was like that, named after a song or something like that. This band's called Rumors of Fleetwood Mac. And they were great. They were absolutely great. The one thing, though, I will say, whichever one of you who sent me over there to look at those, you left a link. I dutifully, or you left their name and I went and searched for them. Both bands, neither one of their guitarists are as good as Lindsey Buckingham. And part of the problem is one of them was using a pick. Royce and I on the Four Horsemen talked about how Mark Knopfler from the Dire Straits uses finger picking, and so does Lindsey Buckingham on electric guitar even, right? And so these guys are trying to, what were they doing? Damn your love, damn your lies. That song. And it's got that guitar intro. And it sounds like a pick trying to go over it, very arpeggio. And of course, when Lindsey handles it, it's much more fluid. Other than that, I loved him. And I would have gone to see him. And guess what? You go in, a band like that, you pay $50 max, on a Tuesday night, less than that. And instead of going to see a version of Fleetwood Mac that Stevie Nicks would field, or the last version that did not have Buckingham, I didn't recognize it. Not at that point. He was their producer. He wrote as many songs as the other 2 ladies did. He was a great vocalist. He's one of rock's very best guitarists. All right? How do you kick that sucker out? And who kicked him out? Well, I covered the story. It was through Stevie Nicks pressuring the other bands that it's him or me. Okay? And that's a shame. That's an absolute shame. So when you get back to what you were talking about, Royce, I don't see it If it is, shame on them. Jealousy will eat at you all day and all night, you know? But whatever it is, I think it's a little more sinister than that. I think it's pick a channel with a certain amount of viewers, take them to task, and see what you can glean off of that. The only problem is when you do that, be sure that you do it with a channel that can't argue you back, because I more than argued you back on so many levels. The one mistake I made in that video, and I think I left it on the cutting room floor. It was a portion. I was editing. You know how I do my videos. And I left the thing saying, these are third-party tickets, but all of you knew I was talking about, or the 99.9% of you knew I was talking about third-party tickets. And it was based on a series of videos I've been talking about, not only with Paul McCartney, but other artists as well, right? And yet, in that same video, Royce, Beatley Tone, I won't mention the other guy, as long as he wants to keep the truce, I'm all happy with it, right? Doesn't?
Okay.
If you don't. But one of the things that they were both saying is how you can't say he sounds bad. They made all these excuses because a lot of those things on was all filmed on iPhone, right? And I've already explained all of that stuff before, why that doesn't cut mustard. And yet here he is on his stream today talking about the need for auto-tune, days after he was defending Paul's voice in response to me saying Paul's voice is shot. And yet today, he's saying it's at least shot enough, they ought to consider auto-tune and cheat.
Ben Scheidegger just came in with a $5 super.
Ben, bless you, brother.
Ben's here. I'm so glad.
Oh, it's always good to have a younger member of the tribe in. That way I don't feel as, old as I'm feeling right about now, baby.
Yeah, Ben keeps us all young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boy. He says Richie Blackmore, Ian Pace, John Lord, Ian Gillian, with Glenn Hughes on bass as duo vocalists. Have them record their album in a dungeon. Oh, my God, that's epic, Ben.
And call it Boys of the Dungeon.
Yeah.
Lane. Boys of Dungeon
Boys.
Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what I did there?
Absolutely, Ben.
Yeah. No, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad he brought that up. And how much was that for, babe?
Five big ones.
$5 super thanks. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you brought that up, Ben, because I got off track when I was talking about my pick. See, the Eagles got in my way.
Yeah, he brought you right
out
around,
of these bands, the Eagles got in my way. If I could have just chosen from the other three bands, not to say the Eagles are bad. You guys know I'm an Eagles fan. Okay? I've made that clear even when I criticize Don Henley, what they're doing these days. They're one of my biggest bands in my top 10, my personal top 10. But for the musicians that I wanted to choose in the sound, see, I would have just rather have also picked Glenn Hughes on bass.
Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't have had to pick Ian Gillan. But then who do I... and if I'm doing that, am I bringing him on just as a singer and not a bassist? Or do I get a second guitar player? Then I'd pick Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac. Let's see. Or Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh's style. Actually, so would Don... Don's style would go in with that too. With Jimmy Page. But then why wouldn't I pick, Richie Blackmore? God, Richie Blackmore and Jimmy Page. That would be a dream come true for me. But several of these guitar lineups and everything. But now you're thinking, I love that. I love that, how you did that, brother. Let me get back over to the stream here. I've been out and gone for so long. Just see where we are here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Good Lord. Okay. There we are. Okay. So, do we have any suggestions in here? Royce, give me a freaking suggestion, man.
Oh, no.
You put me to work on your show. I know you just gave me a $10 super, thanks. But with that comes great responsibility, brother. One member from every band to plug in, Royce, drums, bass, guitar, or guitar, keyboards, and vocalists.
Well, Mark Nilsson says Gillen, Beck, Green, Fleetwood, and Lord.
Say that again. Say it again and slower.
Gillen, Beck, Green, Fleetwood, and Lord as keyboard/bass on keyboard.
Oh, wow.
That's that's
yeah,
a
but
great
you don't have
combo.
any drummer or lead singer or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for you guys to fill out a 5-man lineup, and you have to pick one person from each band. That's the thing. So if there's a band here you're not crazy for, pick the weakest spot for them and then fill your strong parts in.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion. Let's see. Royce just is ignoring me.
Oh, he just came in. He said,
What about you, Dan, out of these bands? I'd like to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Well, Brian Bingham says The Who without Keith Moon didn't really work. And Dr. Insomnia has got Zappa, Zappa, Zappa on the brain.
Of course he does.
On the brain,
Oh,
yeah.
Doc, hey, it's good to see you in. He was worried he wasn't going to make it.
Wouldn't even be in his top 100.
What's that?
Dr. Insomnia says the Eagles wouldn't even be in his top 100.
Right. I know a lot of you agree with that. And I've criticized them a lot. And that makes those viewers happy. But I've always said, I love the Eagles, man. I love the Eagles.
I love the Eagles.
And I love
too.
all their eras.
Who doesn't? Who couldn't possibly not love the Eagles? Were a classic sound.
Yeah.
In classic rock.
Well, yeah, but a lot of our viewers, baby, are into a heavier. We've got a lot of viewers that love. I built my channel on more than the Eagles. The Eagles were big videos for me with their shenanigans.
Well,
but videos from Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
Deep Purple,
Oh, yeah.
Black Sabbath,
Oh, yeah.
Santana. See, that's
Very right.
a lot of my viewers, your viewers now, are geared into, like one of you said, you got to do Foghat, Foghat, right? Blues-based bands, hard rock, Metallica, and the Eagles, for them, to their ears, I could see them as being a little pedestrian.
Yeah.
I guess, life in the fast lane is okay.
B Still VX says Page, Blackmore, Pace, Hughes, and Gillian. I just
yeah, but you don't have you don't have the Eagles in there, brother.
Okay.
But that's one hell of a lineup.
Yeah.
Who would you sacrifice and what Eagle would you put in there?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I know people. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. When we're talking about the marks for Deep Purple, I guess this is hard for me because I like Ian Gillan better than David Coverdale, but I like Glenn Hughes better than Ian Gillan. I love that man's voice.
Yeah.
Glenn Hughes, and he's a freaking great bass player. Do you know Ian Gillan? Or not Ian Gillan, Glenn Hughes? He didn't even want to be a bass player. He just wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
And he's been touring. I guess he's on his last legs. He's about ready to go out. He's doing some sort of final thing. And even at his advanced age, he has to slip more into falsetto quicker than he used to, but he does it like glissando. God, for an older rocker, that man is a powerhouse and one of rock's best bass players. So I can see your guys' temptation. Got to be a way to get Glenn Hughes in on this band, but then you got to field. See, you can field one from each 4 bands, and then you can go back to any one of those 4 bands for your 5th member. Think about that.
Well,
okay.
Angela said it's hard because all 4 of these bands had multiple members.
Right. And
Yes.
I even opened up a large. It's always good to see Angela, and I saw her earlier today
Yeah.
over at
I
Caitlin's.
know. I was glad to see her too.
Yeah, a bunch of us were hanging out at Caitlin's. She got another record amount of thumbs ups, a larger audience than she's been getting. Congratulations, Caitlin.
Woohoo.
And it's
Caitlin.
such an honor to be over there. I love it. I feel like I'm amongst family.
Yeah.
I play the contrarian a
And
little
Joseph
bit.
Blue.
The irritating big brother, right, Caitlin?
And Joseph Blue says, I don't know most of these band members. Never followed them, but I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, yeah.
Joseph.
See, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Joseph, I think Fleetwood. See, I wouldn't have put any one of these four bands on this stream around this poll unless I was not a major fan.
And Caitlin
Okay.
says, thank you. Oh, thank you, Michael. More like a pain in the ass.
Well, I didn't say.
Caitlin's got humor, girl.
Yeah, I'm more of a pain in the ass, big brother. Is that it?
No.
I've been known to be that.
But yeah, your
I'm
family.
the oldest
she
in my
says,
family.
but
Just
yeah,
ask any one of my
your
four
family.
younger siblings
Aw,
if I was a pain in the
Caitlin.
ass or not.
Hugs and kisses, Caitlin.
You bet your ass I was a pain in the ass, right, Caitlin?
I feel your pain, Caitlin.
Jesus.
I feel it.
You know, you invite a girl over and dumbass, yeah, I'm going to tell her that this kind of crap. And then, there's a party outgoing and mom's out at work. Michael, I need you to watch the kids tonight. But I wanted to go get stoned and all of that,
Oh my.
No,
Well,
couldn't do it. I've been raising kids since I was 9 years
How
old.
did we get on that?
Still doing it.
Did
Can't
I miss
believe it.
something?
What's that? Well, it's Caitlin bringing up old, wounds
she's
of my
just-
life, baby.
She's saying she loves you in her.
No, I know she does.
In her Caitlin way.
Yeah, I know she does.
So-
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
No, we go back and forth. Nick and I, if
Beast
Nick's
is
still in,
going,
Nick and I go back
Zappa,
and forth.
zappa, 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 zappa,
Zappa,
zappa.
oh, God.
Beast. And Guy 1900 says Keith Relf was a great vocalist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Joseph Blue says, I know Clapton and Page, but not with the Yardbirds. Yeah, a lot of younger fans got into them when their careers after the Yardbirds. Matter of fact, there's a ton of Clapton fans that really just didn't really seriously start following him until 461 Ocean Boulevard. I Shot the Sheriff. That was kind of like the launch of his solo career. There's a ton of Clapton fans that just like him as a songwriter who can play really damn great guitar, So there's that. And of course,
boy, Rockin' Robin Bird's in.
oh, Rockin', good.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Hope
you
she's
earlier.
doing
Good to see you.
good.
How you feeling?
Oh.
Hope you're feeling well. And is it true that you're out of Woodstock? Are you on the East Coast, Rockin'? I was asking that earlier. I thought I saw you on another stream today, and I thought they were talking about you. That you're out of the Woodstock area, East Coast. Is that true?
Okay.
Talk about
Let's
rock and
see.
roll DNA. If that's true. Is
Oh,
she
boy.
saying anything?
Let's see. She said, I'm in Boston.
Oh,
The Boston area.
In the Boston area.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Look.
maybe there was a false rockin' robin bird walking around.
A false
There could never be another
Not a
rockin'
false
robin bird.
Yeah.
Not in a
Nope.
trillion years.
She's
It's
the
impossible.
Rockin' Robin Bird.
She's the rockin' robin
Yes,
bird.
she is.
Just like I am absolutely sure that there is no other Michael Noland on this planet. How many times have we seen my name in the phone book, baby?
Your name?
Yeah. Well, hell, Mike Nolan of the 49ers, Chris Nolan. And by the way, people who spell their name Nolan versus Noland and Knowland, those are all variations of the same. Chances are we are of the same original clan from Ireland. All right? So Noland, or Canoland.
And Michael Boswell says, how about Michael Boswell?
There could only, oh my God, I would know a fake Michael Boswell in a heartbeat. Baby.
Yeah, no, because Michael.
Somebody else came
yeah,
in with his name and
he's
started.
distinct.
No, he's
Michael.
got his own DNA, man.
Yep,
He's got his own
he
fingerprints.
does.
It's a good thing he's not a criminal
And he's
because he wouldn't want to
feisty.
leave those behind
He
at the
is
scene, right?
feisty, yeah.
Oh, no, that's good. I'm feisty. But you know what? He's respectful all times, no matter what his opinion is.
Yeah.
He's respectful. I love that.
He is.
And I try to be
Well,
the same
he puts
thing.
you to the test, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. That's great.
Yeah, Chris Drea. Yeah, I see that, Dwayne. Good to see you, brother. Chris Drea, he actually became a photographer right after he turned down becoming the bassist for Led Zeppelin or the New Yardbirds. It was going to still be called the New Yardbirds at that point. And with him walking away from the situation at that point, I think Jimmy still had contractual obligations and shows to play under the New Yardbirds. And without Chris Drea, the idea that came from Keith Moon, despite people saying it came from John Entwistle, when Keith Moon said, if we were to put a band together, because believe it or not, Led Zeppelin was almost formed with Keith Moon and John Entwistle, along with Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, and they were still looking for a singer. And one of the singers they were looking at that time was Terry Super Lungs Reed. And the same singers Jimmy would wind up wanting 2 years later, 2.5 years later, when he actually got around to forming Led Zeppelin. But while they were doing Beck's Bolero, recording that, these people came together for a few weeks. They were seriously considering to call themselves a group. John Entwistle and Keith Moon were going to leave The Who.
Cranberry sauce.
And they were going to call themselves, for a while, they even considered calling themselves Led Zeppelin. It started to bubble, and then tours from various members started happening, and they never fully regelled. Can you imagine a Led Zeppelin? So many of you like the Yardbirds with Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page. Can you imagine a Led Zeppelin as a 5-member band? You know? I mean, that was Jimmy's DNA. He was in a 5-member band. So if he could have gotten Jeff Beck, and he obviously was going to work with him, the problem is how long-lived would that band have been? Because Jeff Beck is almost as notorious for leaving projects and bands as Eric Clapton is. Not quite, but almost. What else did you have to say here, baby?
Oh, no, I screwed up. I was saying goodnight to Jay Kleban. He has to go secure buildings, he said.
Oh.
But I sent it to Dan, just the fax man.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, I don't know what
Well,
I
don't
was
go
thinking.
clearing buildings, Dan, for heaven's sakes. Don't do that.
Oh, my goodness.
My goodness. You gave one of our tribe
I sent it to Dan.
members a mission, huh?
Yeah.
Sent them out on a mission.
Well,
Submitted
Jay
for
has
your
to go
approval.
because he has to go secure buildings.
Ah.
But I somehow labeled it just the fax man. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, I'm a nut.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Anybody else? Did anybody else have any ideas on how you would do that? What members would you do on this? Now, think of these bands. The truly great bands, first of all, there's bands that just rely on a core. You got the Beatles. Beatles weren't going to be anything better by adding Billy Preston. Or, as a matter of fact, he would have been leaning on their songwriting, and he would have been more of a great member. He sounded good with them, but more along the lines. Then you have almost two Ringos, even though he was a songwriter, even though he could do that. His main offering would have been arranging. We already had a arranger with George Martin. He made them get along better. So if it was a matter of them continuing, I would have seen that. If the only other major rocker that played with, Brian Jones played saxophone on "You Know My Name." All right, but he couldn't even stay in the Stones, so he wouldn't have been somebody they could have added for another era. Eric Clapton comes to mind because he did the solo on "My Guitar Gently Weeps." Yeah, right. Like he wouldn't have quit 5 minutes after he had signed it in ink. The ink would still be wet,
Oh,
and
my
he'd be looking
goodness.
for another band. Yeah.
Guess who hit the deuce hammer?
Why do I?
Michael Boswell.
Oh,
Thank
my
you
goodness.
so much, Michael.
Tribute band is better than a deceived.
A decade.
A decade. Yes. Yes.
Dave L.R.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
is Dave Ellen? Is that what he's talking
No,
about?
he said tribute band is better than a decade. Dave, capital L.R.
Oh, is that left, right? Is that what?
It may be.
Yeah, might be
Yeah.
left, right.
I'm sorry, Michael, if we're screwing that up.
Yeah. See, I'm not privy to what he's been saying without the super thanks here. I'm just trying to see. Clarify it, Michael. Look down at the bottom of these, baby, and see if he can clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Tribute band is better than a David. Okay. Bingo. Oh, well said. Yeah, his voice is nowhere near what it was before. And I don't know. His heyday, if I had to choose, see, my favorite singer, Michael knows this, between the two singers in Van Halen, the better singer was Sammy Hagar. But the better singer, see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
In that he wasn't as clinically as good as Sammy Hagar, but he was the better singer for Van Halen, David Lee Roth. But I wouldn't give you 2 cents on what he's doing these days. And that man's ego is out of check, isn't it, folks?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he gets a deal going, then he backs off, then somebody suggests he's going to do this, and he's out of that, and he's unglued. And when he talks on stage, I don't know. I almost wonder if there's just a touch of dementia to the man.
Well.
But he's always been zany, see? And so you don't know if he's just...
Well, B says Roth
And
has
when you look
lost-
at him, he's an old guy now, so he's not the cute David Lee Roth where you go, I'm sure that was witty.
B said Roth has lost his marbles. Yes.
Yeah. It does seem like that to me. You know,
Yeah.
but if my favorite era of Van Halen is David Lee Roth.
Yeah, me too.
And yet my favorite era of Sammy Hagar is Montrose. Not his solo, not his Van Halen, his work on 2 albums with Montrose.
B. Stelvieck says
Yeah.
he's watched him recently. He said he barely sings.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he doing one of those? How many of these old guys, these old geezers, get up? You know, like Bruce Springsteen's doing that, sitting down on the stage. Yeah, John, name's Will Rogers.
Still
Watch
says
me do a
his
rope
backup
trick.
singers do most of the singing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's what was happening with David Coverdale before he finally retired.
And
he
now-
even had a clone of his voice hidden behind stage, and when he'd go up real high
Oh, that's
on a White
interesting.
Snake tune or something like that, he'd just go silent and the guy would sing into the mic. They were both wired into the same volume and everything. And to me, that's dishonest.
Al Val says No Milk Today was written by Graham Gouldman.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Anything else?
Well, Dwayne New Lady KA says the Yardbirds and John Mayall's Blues Breakers produced the most musical
Yeah.
talent in rock and roll history.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, since you didn't mention the Beatles,
No.
Michael,
See, I've said that. No, she brings up, is it
that was Dwayne New Lady
Dwayne? Sorry,
K.
Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne New Lady K.
You be he, I'll be she. Well, since he
Yeah.
brought those up.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I said that earlier on the stream. The Beatles, see, the main focus on my channel is all of rock, but I like to, my main area of interest, I can't help it, is from about 65 to
Oh my God.
2005.
Dr. Insomnia said Zappa produced more talent. Dr. Insomnia
He just ain't gonna give it up.
Oh
is
no,
he?
he's going to have his way.
Yeah.
Dr. Insomnia. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know what?
I
If
love
there's
it.
if there's anybody who could bring these guys back with Zappa, including the guys that have passed away on this list, it would be Zappa's estate. Don't they put out about 2 albums an hour these days?
Oh wow.
It seems like they're just putting. Every time you turn around,
Hey,
there's
hi.
another Zappa album.
We have a cranberry sauce in the chat, and cranberry sauce says Ronnie Montrose told them, excuse me.
Yeah.
Next time, remember to take the lens cover off when they attempted to take his photo in Springfield, Massachusetts, when Edgar Winter opened for Alice Cooper in '72. Montrose was going on stage.
Ah,
Oh my
that's such a
God.
cool
Cranberry
story. And
sauce.
cranberry sauce has been with me a long time.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they're also on other streams as well.
Oh, that's
but,
awesome.
yeah, we've had a connection for a long time. Good to see you in cranberry sauce. Yeah, quite aware of them.
Beast LVX says, I have to send you a hilarious video, Michael. I need to send you comedian Anthony Cumia shitting all over Roth and what he's doing now.
Oh, send the
goodness.
link.
Oh my goodness, we love a good laugh.
Yeah, send the link
Beast.
for me on the replay.
Yeah.
Because this will only be temporary and I can't go over there live. But do the replay and send me a link. And Cranberry Sauce said something else here I wanted to cover too. Let's see, where was it? Thought I saw one more. Yeah, I love Roth's voice, vocals with Van Halen as well. Perfect for the band. Now that's exactly it. The better singer is probably Sammy Hagar, but for inflection, and think about Hot for Teacher. Sammy Hagar, not on his best day. Now maybe he could cover it live, but not on his best day would he have come up with that performance. The little jibs and the jabs. Yeah, man. What was that? Yeah. To me, Van Halen always, see, with David Lee Roth, see, Van Halen became a grown-up band, Daddy, with Sammy Hagar. You can tell their sound changes and everything. They're still good. I still like them. Okay. But before that, they were an exercise in sophomoric humor. I love dumb sophomoric humor.
Yeah.
You know, let's just get down and dirty. Let's just be kids on a playground in high school or in high school, 10th grade.
Hey.
Think of the humor you had there. And Van Halen encompassed that with David Lee Roth. Yeah, baby.
Dwayne New Lady says,
Yeah.
Michael and everyone in the tribe, did you ever see the Arms charity concerts in 1983 that also has Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page in the roster?
Wow,
Well,
no.
I didn't, but
And that was 83?
yeah, 83.
Wasn't that around the time, you know, the Queen was honoring him, or was that even later? And I loved that she, you know, like she had actually even talked to them before. They told him, the Queen will come to you, and she will ask you what she wants. Be very quick in your response, and curtsy, you know. But she got to Jeff Beck, and she goes, and when did you play with the band? Or something like that. He goes, well, I came in before him, but after him, but I don't know, they kicked me out.
Oh my God.
Told the Queen of England.
The poor
that.
Queen.
That's Jeff Beck.
What
yeah.
could she say?
And he would
She
always
probably-
say that. You know, weren't they inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? He said something real close to that too.
Yeah.
You know?
And
He always resented that when, in fact, from what I've read, his girlfriend and him were having a hard time. He had to go take care of girlfriend business and didn't show up for shows. He left on his own. And that's when, you know, Jimmy Page went, well, I'm fine. I can play lead guitar for both of us.
And Just the Facts Man says songwriter Chip Taylor passed away at 86.
What did he write?
He wrote Wild Thing, love that.
Ooh.
And Angel of the Morning, and I love that too.
Oh, yeah, by
He was
Juice
John-
Newton. Wasn't it Juice Newton that did a version of that?
Yeah, maybe
They
it
call
was.
me Angel.
Yeah,
I think.
but he said that he was John Voight's brother.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow. Chip
Oh.
Taylor was John Voight's brother.
Well,
Wow.
condolences to Angeline Jolie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was her uncle then,
Yeah, that would
right?
make it. Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh,
That's
boy.
sad.
Angela's got to go.
Okay,
Good night,
Angela, we're
Angela.
ready to
You have
wind
a
this
great
down
evening.
as well. I've been up. I got up to about 10 minutes late, so we've been going a good hour and a half, a little over. It looks like to me, right? Uh, but I really appreciate you guys, supporting the channel and everything. And just as a close off, this whole shenanigans that's the other thing that was happening over at Rachel's, just understand, Rachel's got a lot of talent. As far as I'm concerned, she's wasting it with this
Wow.
vaudeville show she's got going on over there. And purposely shit disturbing me isn't cool.
Wow.
Rachel, you used to say I was one of the few channels you watched all of my videos on. It wasn't even 6 months later that I knew you weren't even seeing my videos. So you don't know what's going on over here. You didn't know what was going on over at Joe Mayo's channel. And you started shit. And there is no doubt in my mind that's why you wanted Beatly Tone to get up. Because the man actually thinks he's got fangs. Most gumming people without teeth do, I suppose. I don't know. But it wasn't cool. I'd like this to all freaking stop. Okay? Go on to your own channels. Do what you want to do. I'll stay in my park. And for those who can take me just saying what's on my mind, Joe can take me saying what's on my mind. I can take Joe. Joe just did a video about him. It was an older video about him buying a car. And I said earlier, yeah, I was right there in the story. I love Joe. I love Joe. I didn't like what
Aw.
Joe said on one, and so I said it. These guys attacked me. The freaking thumbnail called me Michael Fake News Noland.
Oh,
That's an
boy.
attack. All right? And I didn't like it. But if that channel, and I would like to also you to change your freaking thumbnail. Come on, man. That's
Yeah.
bullshit. And talk about clickbait. You guys accused me of using clickbait techniques, and you used a larger channel and a photo of me and calling me a dastardly villain to get views. And you got a few more views than you usually do, didn't you? Who's the clickbaiter? I didn't come after you. You came after me. And now Beatly Tone just can't get over it because I called him a prick, I guess. Actually, he agreed with me there. And I'm glad, Beatly Tone, that you and I agree on one thing. Right? There may be hope for you yet. But this place is for positivity. And this is going to be the last time I mention it. I don't give a flying fuck what is going on with Rachel's. As a matter of fact, I've made a decision. I'm not going to go to Rachel's stream anymore. She's laughing.
Oh, it's just Michael Boswell said, "Welcome to the 21st century, Michael. Sorry to say it."
Yeah, Michael, I know.
Oh,
Yep. Get your new tricks in order, old dog. Right?
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I am a purist,
Oh,
more
my
so than
goodness,
Michael.
hon.
What's
Rockin'
that?
Robin Bird just came in with a deuce
Oh, darling,
hammer.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much,
Did we
Rockin'
hear
Robin
if she's
Bird.
doing better?
She said the tribe rocks. I try not to miss a show. I know,
I
Rockin'
know.
Robin Bird, even when you're not feeling well.
Right.
My goodness, we love you, Rockin'
Right.
Robin Bird. It's just not the same if you're not here.
Oh, there's a good
The same with so
40
many,
of you that
everyone.
never miss this show at
I
all.
know, it's
or
like-
if you do, you're seriously ill, or you've got, like, you're in
I
Europe
know.
on a wedding anniversary,
Yep.
So And for those who couldn't make it tonight, but you see, you see this later, um, and you haven't made it in the last couple of, let me know how you're doing. You guys know. You guys know who I'm not hearing from and everything, because I really do care about this tribe. Okay? And I can't fix your lives or anything else other than just be a friend
No, it's
who can
companionship.
commiserate with
yeah.
you and pray for you and give you the best wishes and at least some moral support along the way, right? I'm not the evil bastard that some channels would make me out to be. Somewhere in between. When I'm feeling like an evil bastard, watch out, baby.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm not into that, right?
Beast LVX says, love my people.
Yes.
And you are our people, Beast.
Yeah, Deuce.
Caitlin, Dwayne, Brandon 1351,
Yes.
Royce, Sarkon the Wolf, Joseph Blue, Mark Nelson,
Mark, it's good to
Kimberly
see you.
No,
Well, Kimberly
Michael
counts too.
Boswell, Brian Bingham. Oh boy, you guys are all great. John Hardy,
Dan the man.
Dan the Man,
Timothy
Caitlin,
Henry.
Cranberry Sauce,
Cranberry sauce was
Stephen
in.
McGinnis,
Angela.
Angela.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many of you.
Oh, you guys are all so great.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have another
This has
Joseph.
been
Joseph
Brian Howard.
Fitzharris. Maybe a dark wizard, Michael.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Music, Caitlin says, is universal, and she's right, sister.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Well, I like to think that I'm the
A
wizard's
dark
apprentice.
wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I have only come here seeking
We'll have
knowledge.
to get a wizard hat for you.
What's that?
We'll have to get a wizard hat for you.
Yeah, the wizarding
Maybe-
world of Michael Noland
Oh, my
on the
goodness.
bottom line.
Sarkon the Wolf just came in.
Sarkon, thank you
with
so
a
much.
$5 super thanks. Thank you so much, Sarkon. That's so nice.
I love this. Read that, baby. $5.
Sarkon the Wolf says, music makes the world go round. Rock on. That's what we're all about, Sarkon the Wolf.
That's my motto. That's my motto. Music is the
Awesome.
closest thing.
Beautiful.
Speaking of wizards, I've often said this. Music is the closest thing to real magic, especially Western music and its harmony. There's some wonderful stuff from the Middle East and stuff like that. But with the way that music is structured in the West, there is a harmony that is able to go. And it will send chills down your
Yeah,
spine.
yeah.
Just ask the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Everly Brothers. Okay? Think of the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac. Okay? These guys, harmony. It's like a magic spell. A good harmony can change a melody into pure, absolutely magic.
Beast LVX says, Michael is Gandalf leading the fellowship. Whoa, I love that, Beast. I love that.
Yeah, and if I was Gandalf, I would have said this to Royce on his earlier super thanks is,
Oh.
most of us wish
Yeah.
that we didn't live in such
Of
times,
course,
Frodo.
with the pipe. And Joseph Fitzharris wants to know, are you a thrash guy, Michael?
I can be at times. It depends. I'm not for Cookie Monster music and stuff like that. Thrash metal, some of it's interesting. I don't like it when it becomes homogenized. Oh yeah, that's thrash metal. But I like elements of thrash with some bands. I can't think of any that's coming. You've got me off guard. I'll be thinking of that later when I'm reviewing the stream. But I love all kinds of music. I don't care for opera.
Oh, I like
I've said
opera.
that before.
I like
And I don't care for rap, although I've heard some interesting shit out of it. But it's the fact that where the major motor takes it down, right? Not crazy about hip hop, although I've said and admitted quite recently, there are some hip hop tunes that are decent enough, right? Good pop artists. I don't like Lady Gaga, but I love Poker Face.
Brian Bingham
Yeah.
says, I found out that Jimmy Page played on the 1966 Fleur de Lis single, Circles. Wow.
Yeah, I would
Wow.
imagine
Oh,
that's
he
quite
liked
possible.
classic music. I
Yeah.
mean, I love it.
Well, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, along with two other musicians, were what I call England's um, wrecking crew. If anybody knows what the wrecking crew over here in the States is, group of studio musicians that are on most of the records you've heard. Well, over in England, that was Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones a whole lot. Jimmy Page is on Sunshine Superman by Donovan, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's all over. He's on all kinds of hits. All kinds. So is John Paul Jones, right? So, yeah. All right, folks, let's see. What do we have here? We've got about a minute to the hour. I think that's good. It gives, actually, we're bumping up closer to the 2 hour mark. And like I said, I was in no hurry. I'd cover the whole thing. I had a great time with this. Now, here's a final assignment for you guys that are still with me. Okay? I'd like you to come back to the stream. You don't have to rewatch it. Just go to the stream when it's on rewatch, and as many of you could, give me your perfect band out of the bands we covered tonight. That's Fleetwood Mac, the Yardbirds, Deep Purple, and where am I? Why did I lose my train of thought on this puppy? Deep Purple. Why can't I'm just trying to think who I chose, you know? But and Fleetwood Mac. Okay, so we've got the Yardbirds, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, Deep Purple. All right, take one member, because you're going to build your own 5-member band out of this. Take one member out of each, and then for your 5th member, you can choose from any of the 4. All right, and you're going to fill a lineup either as a drummer, bass player, keyboard, guitarist, lead singer, or drummer, bass player, 2 guitarists, and lead singer. But one member, all 4 bands have to be at least have one member, and then you can choose which of these bands gets 2 members to flush it out. Okay? So you guys always give me homework. You always give me assignments. I think I've been pretty good standing up to that. Doc gives me assignments and homework. So
Yeah.
does Divining Dragon gives me tons of homework. Rockin' Robinberg gives me tons of
You know
homework.
what Rockin'
Royce
Robin
gives
Bird
me homework.
said?
What's that?
I will have to replay the parts I missed on the stream because
Right.
all these bands are freaking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I go over
Absolutely.
the how the poll works in on this. Now, with this, you're going to fill out a 5-member. In other words, drums, bass, guitar, vocalist, or drums, bass, guitar, keyboard, vocalist. Okay? 4 of these members have to come from each one of those bands. Fleetwood Mac, the Yardbirds, Deep Purple, and the Eagles. For your 5th member, whichever finger that is, you can go back to any one of those 4 bands and flush your band out. And you can choose, go to my polls, you can choose members from any era. Okay? All right? What was that guy's name? T.O.P. something. He was the original guitarist for the Yardbirds. You want him in. You don't want Eric Clapton. You don't want Lindsey Buckingham. You don't want Jeff Beck or Jimmy Page, right? You don't want Joe Walsh. You don't want Don Felder. Okay? No, I want Top, whatever his name is. It starts with a T.O.P. I remember that. Not real familiar with him. So if you want to, I don't care. You want Rod Evans from Deep Purple instead of Ian Gillan. Okay, you want to go back, you want Peter Green as your guitar player. Screw Jimmy Page, I want Peter Green. All right, you've taken from Fleetwood Mac. Okay, now you can take from Fleetwood Mac one more time after you fill out you pick from the other 3 bands.
Huh.
Okay?
Alval and Dwayne New Lady say Top Ham.
Top him. Yeah, thank you.
Top him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Da-
Thank you.
You know, if he had had that name, I would have just, in my band, and he'd come in, I would have called him Top. Is that what they did? That's too delectable. You got to call the guy Top, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of, if he had stayed the course, a lot of guitarists were kind of gunslingers back in the day, right? We could call him Top Gun. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's late in the show. Michael's losing it. What can you say? Anyway, once again, special mention to Rockin' Robin Bird. I'm worried about James. I haven't seen him in a while. Sometimes he's under the weather. James, if you're out there, let me know you're okay, brother. All right? Dr. Rick, high blood pressure and other problems that I know he's going through. Okay? And who else was there that I mentioned earlier?
Dr. Rick.
I just
But
mentioned
he
him.
says he's doing better. A bit
Good.
better, yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good. I'm so glad. He even had the COVID for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, blood pressure, COVID, all that.
I know.
Man, who needs that
and
shit?
they're in our prayers.
But most of all, a special mention to Sir James, Lennon, Sinatra, Bowie, whatever his full moniker is. We just call him Sir James, who just a couple of days ago lost his mother, and they were extremely close. Extremely close. This is a major loss for James.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, James, all I can say, my prayers go out to you. I've already said them, as always. And stick with the people who strengthen you. You find yourself getting so depressed over it, engage with anybody. Engage as positively as you can. Don't crawl into a corner. That's the worst thing you can do. That leads to self-destruction. The rest of you, I love each and every one of you. I know many of you watching me right now are going through things I'm not even aware of. All right? We pray for all of you. I pray in general for the people who follow me on my channel. Now, if that isn't your thing, that's okay. But it can't hurt. A good thought to people, I mean, after all, I would just love to teach the world and give the world a Coke, and sing in perfect harmony. I mean, at least we all need to be kind to each other, no matter what our religious beliefs are, whether we believe in God or don't. But to share human kindness is a whole lot more important than attacking other people on the internet. Didn't really sell that last one, did I, baby?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was in the chat.
I caught her, folks. She's going, oh, yeah. Michael's mumbling away again, and I'm talking to Ben Scheidegger. Rockin' Robin. Who cares what the maniac is talking about? This is my show, Michael.
Oh, my gosh. You just made me screw up in the chat.
Oh, God.
Michael.
Oh, sure. Like every other freaking channel on YouTube. Blame it on me.
Okay. You got me there. Yeah.
Oh, Michael, you're messing up my stream. She's the boss. You guys, I'm the tribe master. She is the chiefess of all chieftesses. And we got a lot of chiefesses here.
I'm the producer, the
co-host,
the
wife,
dishwasher, cook, cleaner,
the mother of my child,
bill payer.
You are my muse. You are my muse, baby.
Well.
Because.
Yeah, that makes it all worth it.
Because you amuse me.
Yeah, I amuse you. Yeah.
No,
most of the time I piss you off. What are you talking about? Caitlin and me both. No. Just kidding,
Caitlin. You guys, if you're going to start ganging up on me.
Well, Caitlin and I, it's a girl thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You women always do that.
You're not part of the girls' club.
I know.
Thank
you get
God.
into 4 or 5.
Michael's thinking, thank God for that.
Right? Do you ever have to put up with that, Royce? Betty gets a click going there, right?
Well,
And you're like
I get to
you're
hear,
the thumb, they're
you're
the fingers.
boss, hun.
Huh?
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the boss as long as you say
Okay.
I'm the boss, baby.
Well, yeah.
Who gets
Exactly.
their way here more often than
Well,
me?
my goodness. My goodness. The cats.
The cats, yeah. We live for our cats, you know?
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Oh, God.
All three of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dan was saying he has 11 cats. You know what?
Dan has
Yeah.
11 cats?
Yeah, I counted up
Oh,
last
Dan,
night,
I
and a
love
couple were
you.
missing, Dan.
Wow.
16 were being fed, and a couple were missing. So we got to be, but not by that much, man. You know, and we only have 3 indoor cats. Kimberly likes to feed.
Oh, I feed all the neighborhood cats.
Yeah, only now who feeds
I
them?
do. I can't watch
Now who
them
feeds them?
starve. But yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, but who is feeding them now?
But they see all that goes
Me.
on. They see all that goes on out there. So really, they're an investment. Anyway.
Yeah. I have to go out there, you know, because I
No
used to
more
go
cats.
out and they knew better. And a couple of new ones have shown up and chased off a couple of the old ones. You know how cats can be. They're real catty. But
Catty.
I've noticed lately that a couple of them, you know, are inserting meow to other cats as I come out of it. And I go, knock that shit off. I won't put up with that stuff, you know. And the home brood, there's about 6 of them that are real home broods, you know, kind of honorary cats. You know, they don't bolt or
Dwayne
anything.
New Lady K says, Catmandu. Exactly. Exactly, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's me.
Catmandu.
Yeah, that was her reply to me. I go, how come I'm feeding the cats all the time? She goes, Catmandu, man.
That's right. Feline. It's a feline thing.
Yeah, Catman.
That's right. Do.
And I jumped.
Yeah.
She says,
my
jump, I
goodness.
say, how high? She says, dive, I say, how low?
Oh, my goodness.
Good Lord. All right, folks. Wow. Well, we've hit 2 hours for sure.
Just the Facts Man says, and an opossum with a pouch full of babies.
Oh, that's right. He
Dan,
does.
You're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he's got a possum.
Bless your heart, Dan. God, that's awesome that you take care of the animals.
Yeah, and you know, they're God's creatures, but
Well,
when
you
I
know
see a
what?
possum, I see a really huge
I
rat.
just don't like people that don't like animals. I don't like those
Oh, I know,
kind of
yeah.
people.
No, people who
'cause
don't like animals, I never
they
wind
make
up
me
liking.
suspicious if
Yeah.
they don't like animals.
Yeah. Well, you know, or that they're abusive. You know, they're sure to have pets, but they're abusive to the pets.
Yeah, the pet is there to serve them.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, just a guard dog.
Which is bullshit and a
You know,
half.
they keep them half out of their mind with hunger.
Right.
And make them mean.
Yeah.
Now those kind of people, no,
No.
thank you.
No. We identify ourselves, our humanity, by how we treat the wildlife around us.
That's right.
And other things.
They're ours, and
The
it
forest.
says, I mean, we're Christian, but I mean, everybody has their own spiritual journey, but
Yeah.
we believe that, God said they're ours to.
Well,
take
you know,
care of.
it's interesting, baby. I'm going to prove a point here before I knock off here.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about, because I believe in a lot of those things, and they go, well, it sounds to me like the man's card-carrying libtard there, Mildred.
Yeah.
And I'm not, but a lot of those things I am into. I don't buy the whole global warming thing, but we've got to get back to the garden and take care of this freaking planet. Okay, so with me believing that, I kind of go right along with a lot of global warmers believers, because we need to treat the planet right. We need to treat the trees and everything else. And who is the number one person or group of people on this planet that preach that shit to us, folks? Why, it has to be Hollywood. What did I show you just the other day, Kimberly?
I know.
A picture of the theater after the Oscars. What did you see in that photo? Remember? It was a red photo of the theater after, and I showed it to you, and I go, this is the day after the Oscars.
Yeah.
Nothing but garbage.
Garbage.
Cups.
They just leave
food.
it laying around like they're too
These
good.
multi-billionaires,
They're
I'm
too
better
good
than you, bullshit.
to take care
pigs.
of it.
They're human pigs.
Uh-oh, we didn't want to get you going. Mike.
We're
saying goodnight, honey.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we are.
But I wanted to go and rant for about another 42 hours.
Mike.
I figured if I kept going, I could get Beatley tone in that one.
Oh, no,
No?
thank you. No.
No.
Thank you.
All right,
no.
Tony, I'll tell you one thing. Let's stop this nonsense and I'll quit this shit.
Aw.
It's up to you, brother. It's up to you. All right? But if you're going to continue to go over to Rachel's, I guarantee you, she's just going to push this directive.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to support that freaking channel. I used to be a Patreon supporter to her. I did an interview with her.
Oh.
I had a lot of respect, still do. And but what it's turned into over there is more destructive. She says she's fighting for harmony in the vinyl community. Like, fuck you are, woman. It's all about the views and what you can push in the moment. And this time you tried to push me in. I thought I was a fucking ally to you. Or at least the last thing I heard you say. But no, you got to drag it in. Oh, and it's this big drama. Now I know she's thinking I was only fooling. I was only fooling. To which I reply, I wasn't. All right, folks, we'll see you on Sunday. I've got to get a video out too on top of that. But I want to thank you all for showing up.
Yes.
And we'll see you on Sunday at 5. I don't know what Royce is going to be talking about. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with the Sunday night stream. It could go 1 or 3 different directions right now. But I'll be streaming at 5 p.m. I stream from 5 to about 6:15-ish. Get enough time to go over and join Royce at the Four Horsemen. Dan is often up there. Chris Elliott. Novus Nick was in tonight. If none of us make it, Novus Nick is plugged in. Joseph Blue did a fabulous job last Sunday. And we've also got Dawson, who will fill in there. Dave Hopfrog is always welcome. Bruce Cologne, anytime you're welcome, brother. Right? There's several of you over there that could fill in that position. And what we do over there, Royce chooses a topic and then we have a discussion on it. Sounds like a lot of fun. You don't just have to listen to me ramble on. All right, folks, I love you, and I'll see you on Sunday, if not before. Good night. Now, let's try this one more time. Can you say good night, Gracie?
Good night, Gracie.
Oh, my God. Now I forgot George Burns' part. Oh Jesus.
Now you're the one.
It always happens. I tell you, folks. Yeah.